Down dogma. New year, new video, new channel, all kinds of new stuff. But the new stuff doesn't come in unless we make space for it. So with this New Year's flow that we'll do together, let's set an intention for out with the old, except for the stuff that still works for you, and in with the new. So we'll open, find a comfortable seated position, place your right hand facing down, your left hand facing up as a reminder to be light and grounded. So as you inhale, feeling light, creating that space for new things to come in. As you exhale, feel grounded and connected to the floor, whatever else you might be sitting on. Relax tension in your jaw and just start to gather your awareness for this practice. Soften your eyes, let them close. Just be here for a moment. I bow to you all. Thank you for showing up on your mats or your carpets or whatever you're practicing your yoga on today. Let's see what we can do. As a note, I'll be showing some modifications, so above all, listen to your body, and if there's something you need to change and do differently than what I might be doing on the screen, please feel free to do so. We'll get situated onto our backs. Get out some of the wiggles, move around, release the tension in the legs, and let your body grow heavy. Drawing the breath inwards, lift the chest, arch your back. As you exhale, feel the body soften and get heavier as it connects to the floor. And we'll repeat that. As you breathe in, press down into the backs of your shoulders, lift up your chest, spread the rib cage. Breathing into the lungs, and exhale, releasing, growing heavier, softening into the floor. Continue that at your own pace. Basically breathing as much as you can on that inhalation and releasing and emptying as much as you can on that exhalation. Slight modification, you can try this with the legs bent, pressing your feet into the floor, seeing if that makes a difference. And then bringing movement back into the body, sweeping the knees from side to side. Stretching the arms up overhead. Again, arch your body on an inhale. As you exhale, draw your knees into the chest and lift your head off the floor. Tuck the chin in towards the sternum and release again. We'll repeat these motions. Arms back, chest up. Exhale, knees in, head lifts, chin tucks. Breathing in. And breathing out. Out with the stuff that no longer serves you. Inhale, creating space for the good. Draw the right knee in, kick the left leg straight, and switch back and forth. Stretching out those hamstrings, warming up the legs, and feeling the heat build in the core. Keep the head lifted. Draw those shoulder blades a little further off the floor. And release. Hands onto the top of the knees, swinging them around in circles. What we do to one side in yoga, typically we do to the other side, so we don't leave anything behind. Circle your legs in the other direction. Observe how this feels in your body, getting acquainted. Swing the knees from side to side, right to left, arms out wide so you feel opening in your chest. Spreading across those pectoral muscles. Keep the shoulder blades connected into the mat. And the next time your knees are over to the right, let's hold that, making any little adjustments. So here, as we're getting acquainted, we're aligning our body, trying to get good posture and the feeling of good posture into our minds and bodies. Staying connected to the breath. Drawing the legs back in towards the center. And then we'll take those legs over to the left. Lengthen your lower back. You can even shimmy your left shoulder further towards the left side of your mat, so the right shoulder blade comes closer to the floor. Align your head, wiggle your fingers, do any kinds of movements that you feel are appropriate. We're looking for that feel good in your body. Connect to the breath. Stay aligned and attentive. Draw those legs back in. And release the legs long. Stretching out the neck. Lean the head over towards the left. Reach your right arm out wide. Spin the hand. Wiggle the fingers. The upper trapezius gets really tight. Many of you spend a lot of time at computer desks or driving. This should feel really good. Lean the head over to the other side. Stretch out the left arm. Spin the hand around. The shoulder moves. Feel the stretch and how it changes depending on what you're doing. And then draw back into the middle. Bend the knees. Soles of the feet flat on the floor. Tuck those hands behind the base of the head and lift up the head. Chin draws into the chest. Rock side to side. Feel some movement for the neck. Stretching that out, making sure the back body has some space in it. We'll release the head back down to the floor. Open your chest. Feel how that neck is long. And take the hands back down by the hips, palms to the floor. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, knees into the chest. We'll repeat that bridge pose. And releasing. So again, still at the beginning, we like to have moving in our body so that we can work out some of those kinks. That way we can get to some of the good, juicy, deep stuff later on as our practice continues. So don't try and get it all now. A little bit at a time, step by step. Inhale, hips lift up. Press down into your heels so you feel those thighs strengthening. You want your ankles to be underneath your knees. Make some adjustments here. Shift around, wiggle the shoulders underneath your back. And make sure the lower back isn't overarching here. You want to find level hips so that one side isn't working any more than another. I like to bend my elbows here. Robot arms, fingers point up towards the ceiling. Reach the right leg towards the sky. Try to align that heel right above your hip. You'll feel a little bit more power that way. Switching sides, lowering down, keeping the hips level. You can use your hands underneath your hips for a little bit of support if you've got room for that. Or another modification here, the block could be supporting our lower back, and we could just hold into a supported bridge pose if what I'm doing here isn't appropriate. Lift up the heels, lower the hips down, unbind the hands if they're together, and draw your knees and your chin inwards. So lengthen those legs, lifting the chest, the elbows tuck underneath your body, forearms to the floor. Fingertips tucked underneath the sacrum. The sacrum is the bone right above your tailbone. This is our fish pose. Release back down. Knees into chest. Stretch that right arm up overhead and roll over onto your side, dragging your body up. The head is the last thing to lift up here. Again, comfortable seated position. Notice which foot goes in front. We'll align the spine, shoulders above your hips, big side stretch. Right arm reaches to the left. Left arm reaches to the right. And let's just take a moment, move around. We'll start to warm up and get some circulation moving through the body. Breathe in, arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Pause. Reflect. Send those arms back up. Breathe in and a burst. Arms spread out wide. Spread the chest. Open your heart. Hands come back together. Breathe in, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale, hands up. Exhale, like a volcano exploding, arms wide. Palms together. Arms out and up. Hands to heart. Last time here, breathe in. Exhale. Twisting to your left, back to the right. We'll just move back and forth in that rotating type of way. Spine moves in 6 directions. So twisting left and right accesses 2 of these 6 directions. So the dynamic movement at the beginning is great. You get some of that good stuff out of the way, those tensions out of the way. We break into some new freedom in the body. Hold your twist to the left. Lengthen your spine. Breathe deeply. And release. Twisting to your right. Left hand to that right leg. You can look from left and right. And hold as you gaze past that back shoulder. Sit down heavy in the hips, but sit up tall in your upper body. Make sure the head aligns as part of the posture, almost like a golf ball on top of a tee. Inhale, arms to the sky, climb your ladder. Getting a little bit longer in the side body, and then any other movements that start to feel good here, just kind of wiggle it out. So we'll come out of our seated position, put our hands onto the floor, stretch back into a downward facing dog. This could be modified with the hands onto a wall or even a table. Drop back down to the knees. Arch your back, cat pose. Extending your spine, cow pose. And back into down dog. Just exploring here, you can walk it out, bending alternate knees, moving in the shoulders. Just feel free to hold and be steady if that feels better. Looking forward, walk the feet to the top of the mat. Hands come forward so you align your hips right above your ankles. Lift up into a flat back. Push your hands into your thighs or calves and exhale, release. Bend the knees, inhale. Utkatasana means fierce pose, otherwise known as chair. Straighten the legs all the way up. Get taller in your body. Exhale, hands to heart. Another neck stretch here. Reach the right arm away from you. Look to the left. Same thing to the opposite side. Left arm reaches away, looking to the right. Breathe in, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, back up. Exhale, like a volcano, arms reach out. Finding your focal point here, shifting the weight over into the left leg. Lift up the right leg and the arms. Breathe in. Exhale, step the foot back. Take a slight bow. Maintain your balance. Shift back into the left leg. Arms up, knee up. Exhale, reach it back. Breathing in. Space for new. Exhale, release the old. Hands drop back down to the floor. Turn it into a low lunge or a dragon pose. Your back knee to the mat. Flatten the top of your foot if you can. Grab a block if you have one. Place that right hand on the block on the inside of your foot. And let's work into our twist. Again, so you can see I'm doing all of these little micro movements and adjustments. Just finding way into the body. Trying to release some tension. Inhale. The left arm reaches back. Exhale, you round back down. Then let's work on holding that pose. Energize a little bit more. Tuck the back toes under and lift your right knee off the floor. Trying to stack the left shoulder on top of your right shoulder. If it's available, stretch the left arm up above you. Hand can hold the back of the head for a little more neck support. And then release. releasing. Block stays on the inside of the foot. You're going to switch hands. So the left hand goes on the block. Back heel comes down. Right arm lifts up and opens. And drop it back down. Modification, your elbow can come onto your knee. And then we'll find that balance will hold. Again, trying to align the right shoulder this time on top of the left shoulder. Back heel presses into the floor. Open your heart. Find a point to look at. Make sure that neck aligns with the rest of the spine. And let's straighten that left leg. Lifting upwards so we can set up for triangle pose. So you're going to press your feet down and away from one another. Keep that front leg straight, and still like before, we're going to move around a couple times. Work our hips more open, work the chest more open, and then find that alignment. Shoulders stack, heart open, align the head, and keep those hips and core strong. This is great for the side body. Build strength in the obliques. Lots of variations and modifications we could turn this into. Let's release, breathe out. Hands back to the floor. Arms up to the sky. Working on your balance. Left foot slides back. Round your back, cat pose. Shift the weight forward into the shoulders. Feel the power pressing into the hands. Be connected. Lower chaturanga. And then all the way to the floor. Like an inchworm, reach those legs back. And lift up the heart. Hands can help you here. Legs can lift for more lower back strength. Just find ways to work into this strong lower back posture. Pressing into those arms. Lift back up. We'll go through table into a downward facing dog. So we'll start to walk the hands back. Come into a halfway lift, hands onto legs, flat back. Exhale. Belly moves towards the thighs. Make sure those hips are lined above your heels. Bend the knees, press into the feet, lift the arms to the sky. Fierce pose. Sit into that imaginary chair. Stand up, press down, reach back, and exhale. Hands come to the sides. Breathe in, arms back up, fill your body. Exhale, hands to heart. Repeating this, inhale, arms up and wide, fold forward, hamstrings stretch. Flat back, inhale. So picking up the pace a little bit, exhale, fold forward. If anything gets too quick for you, just take a break. Inhale, Utkatasana, fierce pose, strong legs, pressing down to lift up. Fold. And the hands come back to the heart, reaching them back out and up. Fold forward. Flat back, breathe in, strengthen those legs. Push the hips back. Press into the feet, fold again, release that breath. Out with the old, in with the new. Chair pose, find that fierceness. This time we'll stay. So let's get to know this fierce pose a little bit better. Exploring some movements in the hips, movements in the shoulders. You can do what I'm doing or add in your own personality and flair. Again, we're getting to know this pose a little bit. Building some balance in our body. So level energy, balanced energy between both hips. Let's walk out the feet, lifting up onto the balls of your feet, and then sit back down into those heels. Breathe. Straighten the legs, releasing toxins, releasing holding, hands to hearts. Inhale, balancing. Left leg goes up and step back. So now we're doing the same thing on the other side. Breathe in, press into that right leg. Stability in that right leg is really strong. Continue your movements. Breathe in, left knee up. Kick it straight if you can. Feel that power. Exhale, keep with your flow. So 3 times quick. Good. Drop the hands and that back knee. So I love using the block here. If you have one, again, take hold, make sure it's handy. Place it on the inside of your foot, left hand down. Find a way to get those shoulders in a line. You're going to open up that heart to reach the arm back. Exhale, drop it back down. Breathe in, find some space. You're looking for the feel-good stuff. Exhale, drop it down again. Good. Lift up that back leg. See the power that we can get. Keep the hips kind of level. Lots of power going through that whole left side of your body. Feel that as you reach back through your heel. Stack the hips. So nice twist. Imagine the toxins being wrung out from your body. So that was a closed twist. Now we're moving into our open twist, extended side angle. Lots of modifications for this pose. So again, you can do what I'm doing or show some different variations. If you feel like that's available, you can do that. Get acquainted with the posture. Feel the power. Deepen the breath. Make sure the head is in alignment. As it extends from the spine, reach the arm. Feel the space in the left side. Make sure the core and the rib cage is not collapsing. You want space on both sides of the body. And release. Hands to the floor. Let's work into that triangle posture. So again, we're going to straighten that front leg. Lean forward, both sides of the body long, using the block perhaps, or floating that hand to the inside of your calf. Move the shoulder around, lower the arm, reach it back up. And exhaling down. I love this bow and arrow action. Reach up, hold the head, align the spine, the neck, breathe deep. Pressing those feet down in opposite directions, adding in your own personality and flair, and then let it go. Out with the old, in with the new. Dragon lunge here, arms float to the sky. Find balance and power in your hips, strengthening in your core. Make sure the back doesn't collapse. And release the hands. Slide that front foot back. We're going to find some more power in the shoulders, round in your back, shift the weight forward, and then like a turtle coming out of your shell, open the heart, strengthen your core, chaturanga, dandasana. So that's like our low push-up. And then release entirely onto the floor. Stretch those legs back, working into a shalabhasana or locust pose, almost like we're Superman flying through the sky. Add in your own flair or follow along with me, fingers interlaced. Make sure that neck feels good. Make sure the shoulders feel right. Open for space, letting in the new and the possibilities, even letting in the unknown for this new year. New possibilities. Just planting some seeds, harvesting. Move into that upper back bend. Upward facing dog, and then roll slowly with core strength. Downward dog, spread those fingers. Strengthening your shoulders, your hips, your core. Good, and then next exhale, drop the knees down, swing that right leg back and extend it. You want to feel the glutes strengthen, reach the leg up. And exhale, bring that right knee to your right elbow. Picking up the pace, breathe in, stretch it back. Exhale, bring it into the chest. Round your back. Inhale, extend, glute engaged. Exhale, twist to that left elbow. So another way to modify, lift up that left leg, go into a three-legged dog, and do the same type of movements. Continue in this pattern, knee to chest, round your back, strong shoulders. Inhale, three-legged dog, extending. Exhale, twist to the left elbow. Good. So one more time, keep that same pace. We're getting all 4 main rotations and movements of that whole right hip. Release the knee down, again, if you're back to that modification, and flip it into a half pigeon pose. Right knee glides forward towards the right wrist. We're gonna align that hip. Keep the knee in front of that right hip so you don't let it go out to the right. Open your heart, stretch through the front of the waist if you can. And then keeping that space, lower your chest to the floor. Lots of ways to deepen this posture and a lot of ways to lift the posture up. So block under the right hip or a blanket. So again, you can always go to some of our other videos where we break down postures and learn a little bit more. Especially as you're getting into the yoga, it's good things. Or just follow along with me. And if it doesn't feel good, be honest with your body and don't do it. We're gonna lift up from that pigeon pose, open your heart again. Strengthen your core, lift up that leg if you can, three-legged dog. Right leg reaches back, shake it out, and release it to the floor. And let's do the same movements on the other leg. So inhale, left leg extends up. If you're modifying, drop the right knee like I've got it. Exhale to the elbow. Strong core, strong hips. Good. Every motion gives you something a little bit different. Keep a lot of the same functions and same core tenets of the poses so that you're not shocking the body and just flailing around. Lots of mindfulness, lots of breath. Out with the old on those exhales. Get it out. In with the new. Perfect. One more time. Keep breathing. Half pigeon. Find your modification, your variation. Open the heart. Square up those hips. Get into your wiggle room and then find that place where you'll stay. Out with the old. In with the new, the possibilities in space. Continue to explore or stay steady. Walk the hands back. Same thing as before, left leg reaches back. Shake it out, circle the ankle, do what feels good. Lower the foot. Back into our flow. Step, walk, or even hop forward. Make sure you watch some of our hop breakdowns and some of our videos, if and when those get uploaded. Hop forward. Align the hips above your heels. Fold. Make sure you're listening to the feedback your body gives you. Into our flow here. Fold again. And then fierce pose. Find the heat. Be okay with it. Bursting upwards. Straighten the legs. Arms release. Breathe in. Scoop that air into the body. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. We'll open up. Left foot back. 5-pointed star pose. Let's work into those hips a little bit. Let's have some fun. All right, loosen up. Get that circulation going again. Kick it off. Find balance. This is your body. There's nobody better than you to have the freedom to explore here. Goddess pose, bend the knees, one of my favorites. How open is this posture? How welcoming is this? Let's bring in the new year. We've got some wiggle room, I'm sure. After all this deep breathing, we're finding all kinds of space. Anything that feels good, you are welcome to explore. I love this. Drop the hands to the thighs, alternate shoulder to shoulder. Feel a stretch across the chest into the back. All right, let's see what this goddess pose is all about. Lion's breath, stick out the tongue, roll your eyes. This has been one of my favorite yoga things to do since I was a kid. Pranayama, this breath work, wakes up some of the inside. Yoga is not about just the surface layers and the flexibility of our muscles. It's so much about what's happening on the inside. Sometimes things we don't even know or couldn't even comprehend. We trust the process. Oh, that jaw, pound for pound, your jaw muscle is the strongest muscle in your body. That's part of the reason that we do lion's breath. All right, we're gonna internally rotate those hips. So turn the toes inward towards the center of your mat. Arms outstretched, lift the heart. Like you've got a string attached to your sternum. Feeling the stretch across the fronts of those hip flexors. Any organic movements that come from here. So if we can get some of the movement out of the way at the beginning, we can find that moment of stillness where we're really in the posture. Let's fold forward. Wide-legged fold. Internally rotating those feet. Pressing those hips wider, spreading the sits bones. You want to dig down into the floor with the legs. We've all got our own variations. You could do this even with the hands on the wall or hands on a table. So think of little steps. Bit by bit, all of these things unravel. So ringing in the new year, ringing out the old year, at least as far as what didn't serve us. We don't have to let go of all of it. We're not trying to forget about everything that's happened. Just not trying to hold on to everything. We'll twist over to the left. Use your block if you have one. Helps you to align that spine so you're not pulling too much from the hamstrings or from the lower back. And then we'll switch sides. Go over towards the right. Work into it. Open the arms or hand to your hip. And exhale. Release. Goddess, bend those knees, back up strong, thighs, lion's breath, let it out, get it out, and straighten those legs. All right, hop those feet together, heel toe. All right, this is really about shaking it out, wiggling it out. You can dance with me if you're standing in the middle of your home and somebody's watching you. Embrace it. If you're staring at me like, what are you doing? Embrace it. I'm okay if you don't join me, but I'd rather you did. Shaking it out. Do the twist. And then we're going to come back down. Swaying side to side. Releasing the tension of the back body, the fascia. It's almost like this plaque that can build up around our body and intertwined in our muscles when we hold so many patterns of tension. So we'll release that, roll up like a rag doll. Head is the last thing to lift up. Good, hands to heart. Like a marionette puppet here, we lift the chest. Those arms drape down. And then release. Beautiful. Working into those shoulders a little bit more here. Eagle arms. Wrap the right elbow underneath your left elbow and squeeze them together. Breathe in, point the elbows to the sky like an arrow. Exhale. Draw down, inhale, lift up, open the heart. Exhale, drop down. Keep the movements to wiggle into that space we're trying to create. Perfect. Extra modification here. You can bend those elbows and press the backs of the hands together. So we've got 3 sets of this. Lift up and round down. Notice how this variation might limit some of your space that you've got, reducing mobility, or see any new points of access that this particular posture gives you. Breathe with it. If you continue to have more wiggle room in those arms, you're going to wrap the hands around completely, palms together. Press and squeeze the elbows into one another, getting a good stretch for the deltoids on the outsides of the shoulders. Turn it into an eagle pose. Find balance within. Cross the right leg on top of the left leg. We're working to level the hips. Even though the legs are crossed, we're not trying to twist the hips. Now spread your wings, eagle fly. Tree pose. We're holding on to your knee. We're opening that hip out. If you're feeling fancy, you're feeling wild, you want to give it a try. Grab onto that big toe and extend the whole leg out. The standing leg is more important. Have fun with this. Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. If you can really slowly do so. If you fell into a heap on the floor, pick yourself back up and release out with the old. We got a whole other side to do. And these shoulders are going to love it. Wrap the left arm under, point the elbows high, and exhale, round your back. Breathe in. Exhale, round your back. One more time, just like this. And modification. Backs of the hands together. You're going to press and squeeze those elbows. So active muscles will stretch more quickly. Just make sure it feels good. Breathe in, open up, exhale, round into that upper back. You're stretching out your feathers. Palms come together if that's available, or stick with the first variation that we did. Or simply the arms crossed into an X position. Be okay with not doing the same thing that I'm doing here. Find your own expression. Full eagle pose. Left leg floats up. Crisscross it on top of the right leg. Use your foot as a kickstand. Level the hips. Find the strength. Just like the elbows squeeze together, the knees and thighs squeeze together. Strengthen your ankle. Fly eagle. Spread the arms wide. Find a focal point. On the floor, somewhere in front of you that's not moving. Be okay if you wobble. Be okay if you fall. Pick yourself back up again. Utthita Hasta Padangustasana. Fancy names for fancy poses. Smile for the camera. And let it go. Out with the old. In with the possibilities. Let's stretch out those traps like we did at the beginning of our practice. Reaching the arms away, turning the head from side to side. Open the chest, lift the chin, drop the chin, move the spine, windmill the arms back and forth. And come to center. Pause and reflect. Transitioning again back down onto the floor. Got a little bit more power for you here, a little more yang, a little more yang. Puppy pose, hips aligned above your knees. Consider what you bow to. What humbles you. Come into some back bending. Shalabhasana, locust pose. Look for a space to be still, to look within and discover those inner resources. Lower your body. And come on back up. Rolling into that left forearm and elbow. Lift your hips off the floor, mermaid. It's a side stretch. Reach up and lower down. Inhale, side stretch. Exhale down. Ooh, feel those side abdominals. I'm with you here. Breathe in. Find your fancy, find your creation, find your yoga, your pose, your movement, or your stillness. And release. Side stretch. Sitting up. Let's switch sides. Rolling into that right forearm, mermaid lift. Power into those legs. Modification with the knee down to the floor. Find a moment for fancy, for exploration, for you. And let go. Stretch out that right side of your body. And the left side. Roll the shoulders back. Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet together. Releasing that fascia, that plaque that builds up with chronic tension and stress patterns. Draw those knees back in, stabilizing your core, boat pose. All kinds of variations we can have. wide-legged position. Feel free to use any props, bolsters, blocks. Roll a blanket under the knees, especially if you know you already do a lot of stress on those legs, on those knees. Fold forward. Rolling back upwards. And drawing those legs back in. And now we're going to have a good time here in our cow face pose called Gomukhasana. Cross the right leg on top of the left leg. Now you might not look like me, don't worry about it. If you're finding some feel good in those hips, that's what it's about. Or you can even sit up on a block and do what I'm doing here with those shoulders. Left elbow reaches up, a nice tricep stretch, and then the right arm can bend behind the lower back. Fingers maybe interlace. And then release, arms open. So we're not trying to hold on to anything for too long here. Exhale, fold forward, give yourself a moment, releasing that fascia in the back body. Clearing out a lot of space. Slowing down our movements, roll up, ragdoll style. And we'll switch sides. Lifting into a brief reverse tabletop. Try to open up those hips and then come to the other side. Left hip, leg on top. Right leg on the bottom. Right arm reaches up. Let's get that old school tricep stretch. You can hold on to it with the opposite hand. And then tuck that left arm behind the lower back. Fingers interlace. Again, so we're not holding on to anything too much. We're letting go. Arms open wide, chest stretches. Fold forward. Out with the old. In with the possibilities. Roll up, ragdoll style. Unbind those legs. Feet back down, reverse table. Press into those hands. It's a challenging posture, but it opens up a lot of extra space. Seated twist, right leg over top of the left leg. You're going to draw that knee in. Then use your hand to draw the rib cage to the right. Twisting back. Looking past that back shoulder. Release that. Right leg drops to the side. Left leg stays straight. Forward, forward. Forward, fold. Switch sides. Same pose. Cooling down. So we almost move like we're moving through molasses. Give yourself time, drip, drop by drop, bit by bit. Seated twists. Opposite side. Out with the old, in with the new. Let go of that twist. Let go of anything else you're holding. Kick out those legs. Reverse table. Open up to those possibilities. Hips lift and release. All right. So, time to settle in. Knees bend. We're going to ring in the new year. Ring out the old, the stagnation. Twisting the legs over to the left. Supine twist. You want the right shoulder to release more and more into the mat. Open the heart. And then let go of all tension. All muscle engagement, and let the posture do you for a moment. And back to the middle. And lift up those hips slightly, swing them over to the left side. Knees draw in nice and high, and then drop them to the right side. Wiggle into it, and then let yourself find the feel good and be still. Surrender into it. Relax all muscle engagement. And allow the yoga to do you. Draw those legs back into the middle. Square up the hips. Hands slide down by your hips, palms face the floor. Straighten the legs one at a time. Lift up the heart, wiggle the shoulders under your back. Back to our pranayama. Opening the heart on your inhale, exhaling, allowing the body to release to the floor. Any kind of extra personality you want to throw in here. Anything that allows you to embrace your relaxation versus resisting it. Time for your intention. Your awareness. Allowing the awareness of the body to drift out of the mind's attention. So our Shavasana posture is a big time practice for our ability to let go. Out with the old, in with the possibility. The mind might click into gear without you asking it to. It might start thinking about what's next. It might start dreaming up ideas. And as the observer, as the witness, as the awareness, we can just call that mind back to a moment where it's not working, where it's not active. And just to say, settle down, mind. It's okay to relax. It's okay to not always be on, not always be running, not always trying. But instead allowing time for space. Without clearing out space, there's no room for the possibilities to move in. We need to let go of that which no longer serves us. Continuing to relax your body entirely, surrender your weight into the earth beneath you. Bringing attention back into this space. Noticing if you drifted away to somewhere in particular. And again, remind the mind to come back to this moment. And inhaling to the belly, the ribs, the chest fill up. Exhale, let go. Wiggle the toes, the fingers. And then stretch the arms up ahead. Another inhale, arching the back off the floor. Bend the knees and roll to one side. Relax your head here a moment. And then press into your hand, roll up. Now take some time to get situated and get comfortable. That way we remind ourselves to not just rush off to the next thing. If you're using a block or a blanket, grab those now. Sitting up tall. Feeling aligned and connected to your intentions. Right palm face up, left palm face down. A balance. Filling up your body for the sound of Om. Breathe in. Exhale, let that go. New, fresh breath, end in Om. Hands together. From my Om to yours, Jai Bhagwan, Namaste.